Liam, recovered from Boxing Day?
Yeah, recovered from Boxing Day. Again, another really valuable lesson, I think, for all of us. We know it's not going to be the perfect season, so I think what we have to do is take as much learning from that game as possible. And obviously, it wasn't the start that we all had in mind and had hoped for and wanted to happen. And again, it's going away, understanding why. But I have to give huge credit to the guys again. When you look at their spirit, their fight, their not giving up second half. I think we have to the club here. We have to have a culture built on that. That never give up, that never die attitude, and huge credit to the guys for doing that.
In the context of the season, it's very easy for us all to say, that's an important win, that's an important win. Just where the club are in the league at the moment, it actually was around this time of year to get those 3 points. It was quite key, I think, and could make a big difference.
Yeah, I think it can. Again, I think that's probably the frustration with the game being off the other day, to see how the players respond. So. The challenge will be on that tomorrow in terms of how do we go tomorrow. And I think going away, I knew it was going to be a difficult game. I think sometimes you can get carried away with tables and bits and pieces like that. But when you're going away, it's a tight pitch against a decent side that have a really good following and have the crowd behind them. They're not easy places to go, and they're still relatively fresh experiences for some of our guys. And that's why, again, what's so pleasing is that actually we stepped up and responded to that, and obviously showed our quality second half, especially in front of goal. Obviously had a little bit of fortune, but showed our quality, going forward second half to go and turn it round, and like I said, show the response that was needed from the guys second half.
I'm going to talk about the transfer window, but I'm not going to ask you about players necessarily, individuals, ins and outs. I'm just wondering, actually, with the football that you play at MK Dons, and with the way the side are playing at the moment, whether it might be easier to take certain players aside that might have interest in them and say, look, stay, do it here. We're playing the kind of football that suits you. Help us get to the Championship. Be part of something here. It's a lot easier to do that when you're one of the teams in the shake-up for the playoffs than maybe it is if you're 15th in League One.
No, definitely. I think when you look at it, we're in a really good spot going into the second half of the season, and that's down to the players. That's down to the guys that have churned out the performances and the results week in, week out up to this point. So again, I think that in terms of using that going into the second half of the season and getting through January is important. I think what said so many times, what we have got here is such a strong culture that the players are enjoying it as well. I think that's important to stress as well. They enjoy it, the culture. They're learning, they're developing, they're getting better. So many of them are in a good spot. That for me, it's all of our energy has to go into the team and doing what the team needs day in, day out. There's so many things that will happen in the future that are out of our control that we can speculate, we can talk around. But for me at the minute, it's living for the now. It's controlling what we can, which is getting prepared for tomorrow, getting prepared for the next game. And just taking situations as they come. But for me, it's really important to stress that the guys are fully focused on turning up tomorrow and doing what we need to do to perform and win. And that'll be a consistent message throughout the whole of January, that what's important to us here is that we have a team first mentality. We have to prioritise the team and do what the team and the club needs us to every week. And that's important to stress. We spoke to the players about it, and I have to say they've been first class in training and how they've applied themselves and where their focus has been at. So we have to keep that, and the players have to keep that, definitely.
I guess the more games you play at the moment, the less Saturday, Tuesday you have to do later in the season. So playing football is obviously everything that you guys want to do, and every club wants to play football. The more you play now, the less you have to play later in the season, where other clubs might be doing the Saturday, Tuesday. It's going to skew the season a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and to be fair, obviously, even if you look at the number of games now, we're actually one or two behind a few clubs. So we're actually looking at with Burton needing to be rearranged, and Cheltenham as well now. We're looking at it, and we're going to be pretty full on Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday for for a large majority of the last 4 months of the season. So I think that's it's part and parcel of it. That's the excitement of it. That's what the players have to be prepared to do. What the squad, more importantly, has to be prepared to do. We do need people ready to step in when called upon. To deliver and perform a level that we're starting to expect at this club. So I think that'll be the challenge second half of the season.
I'd imagine sad to see Max return to his club.
Yeah, I am, to be fair. He was a good character, and he had a good spell. I think it's part of the game, right? I think it's out of our control, and I'm not one to, as you guys know now, get too high, too low about certain situations. I think he also, when you look at it, it was a bit stop-start for him throughout. Obviously, we came in, he was injured, he got back, then he had a bit of an illness, then he came back again. Obviously, had the really good game that everybody remembers against Cambridge, and then picked up another foot injury at Sheffield Wednesday. So, he had some really good games for us, and I can't speak highly enough of Max in terms of his attitude, his application, how he was when he was here. I think it feels like a potential loss at the minute as opposed to anything else, in that he never really got a run of games or got into full flow. So I wish him all the best at Cardiff, and I think I hope he goes on and does well.
And I'd imagine against Gillingham, just I hope that you can repeat what happened earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's a difficult one going into the game. I think we've no idea. Obviously, they've not played since the 11th of December, so we've got no idea where they're at coming into it. Squad predictions, what system they're going to play, who's going to play, etc. So I think we know what we'll get in terms of a real, honest, hard-working side that will compete and that will play with discipline. So I think we have to make sure that we can control what we can, which is all the prep that we've done, all the the messages from the game against Lincoln, etc. We have to take that into the game tomorrow and control what we can.
Cheers, then. Nice one.
Thank you.
We've just been speaking to Matt O'Reilly about his quite brilliant 2021 at MK Dons. What have you felt about Matt since coming in, and what more can you possibly expect from him for next year?
I've been really pleased with Matt. I think he's had a really strong, start to the season. Again, people forget how young he is. I think because he plays with such maturity and shows such levels of composure in pressurised situations. I think people forget that, but I've been delighted with him. I think he's done really well. Hence he's played a large amount of football. I think if I'm being critical, I think he can score more and create more, which me and Matt have spoken about, and he knows that. But when you look at it, the composure and the quality in the goal was terrific the other day, and he's done that a few times now. So I think with all of the guys, and especially Matt, because he is someone that is ambitious and hungry and wants to improve. It's giving him the pat on the back, and he knows what we think of him and how highly we think of him. But we don't want him. We want to stretch him ultimately, and we want to make him the best version he can be, and make him the best player we can be. And I think he's doing that. I think he has shown progress over the first half of the season, and like I say, just to reiterate, I've been really pleased with him.
Where do you think his best position is? I mean, we've seen him sitting in that slightly deeper role, and I know we're probably only talking about a couple of yards, either left, right, forward, or backwards, in terms of this, being that he's pretty much a central midfield player. But do you see him better as doing the sitting back and orchestrating play, or do you see him better going forwards and joining in the attacks more?
To be honest, I think in both positions he needs to do all of that. I think in whether he's playing lower, I think he needs to still find a way of actually landing on things like he did the other day on the edge of the box, so that he still remains a goal threat when he's playing, say, at the bottom of the box, or even when he's playing at the top of the box. How does he drop to link play that way? And again, I think that's the biggest one that we work on with him is empowering him to make the right decision at the right time. And recognising, because it's not just tactical things, it's momentum in games, which we've spoken a lot about. In when we're under pressure and we need someone to take the ball and relieve the pressure, he's someone that can do that for us. And that's whether he's playing the bottom or the top of the box. That's the responsibility we want to load onto him. So again, I think he's got the qualities to play both. I think it's rather than pigeonhole him, I think he's able to link play and connect play higher up. From deeper areas, he's got that really nice one of obviously the connection between him and Twiney, and he's able to do that and connect in a different way when he plays top of the box. So I think what it does do is it gives us flexibility to adapt the team and change the team and move his qualities to areas where we think we can hurt the opposition.
And obviously with Max leaving, I suppose this would have been something that was always part of your contingency planning. You'll have always had these sort of elements ticking over in the background, thinking, okay, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? And this is now just a case of putting one of your plans into place that you would have probably already had lined up for January. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's really important as a football club we're not just reactive. I think that's and again, huge credit to Liam. I think if you look at the previous work that he's done, and we're actually talking about it today. Richard Keogh leaves last January, Harry Darling comes in. Scott Fraser leaves, Scott Twine comes in, and that's not just a reaction to players going out. There's constant daily work and daily dialogue of succession planning, and that's really important that we're able to do that so that we can move quickly when these things happen, and we're in positions to make sure that the team can maintain the level.
But I suppose it's one of those unwelcome ones that you probably were thinking, wish we wouldn't have had to put that plan in place.
Yeah, of course. I think you have elements of that. You can also see it, from an excitement point of view. It is what it is. It's happened, but one door closes, another opens. It makes it quite exciting to go, right, who can we bring in, and who is available, and what can we do? So again, I'm not one to dwell on things that I can't control. That's happened. He's gone back. I think it's now around look to the future. What can we do? Whether it opens the door for somebody here to grab the opportunity, or whether we have to look outside. I think that's I think they're a really important message to the players that in-house, step up, show that you can do it. If not, then obviously we have to look outside. So like I say, for me, it's not about dwelling on things I can't control, and put energy into building on the the good work that's been done so far.